or maybe it's still, I don't know how time works. It's weird. Anyway, here we are. So it's obviously crossing in the woods, as you can see. It is a 2v2 sent in by Mondeo, and his teammate is going to be Tuga Elite, playing as the Americans. So both of them obviously USF, you know, America, everyone loves freedom. On the enemy side we have Umi and Cheese, both with the Wehrmacht, both going with the Wehrmacht. So it's obviously a map where, you know, Oster can do quite okay with MGs and stuff like that. Man, feels so smooth. I really should be doing this. See, this time I actually restarted the whole PC before I started streaming, and damn, feels better. Feels a lot better. I don't know why. Anyway, so rear echelon troops coming out for Circus Mondeo, plus obviously he's going for some riflemen for Tuga Elite as well. And so yeah, it seems like the Americans will be trying to swamp out the map and get some map control in the beginning. The Germans are replying with an MG42 on one player, MG42s on the other player. So yeah, we have the MG spam. Obviously it's the area denial versus the sort of spread out and cap strategy, facing off against each other. We're gonna see who wins out on this. I am guessing that the Americans can make some good progress of this in the early to mid game. With all of their riflemen, they can cap quite a lot of points. However, the problem is, again, it's crossing in the woods, so it's relatively easy to get caught out against machine guns. There's a lot of open terrain, and it's not the biggest map ever. As you can see, if the machine gun here had any line of sight, it would be able to put down some suppressing fire on the rifleman. But it does not, and so right now the Americans are in a position to kind of come in and try to flank. To prevent the flank, a second MG is setting up, so we'll see if that's enough. Yeah, we have a WC-51 truck coming in, obviously mechanized company. That's great, actually, as we also have another flanking rifleman. One of the machine guns is already retreating out of there, and the second machine gun is going to be setting up to try to deal with the WC-51, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, yes, one burst of machine gun fire will do a lot of damage, but it's not enough to finish it off. Is it going to be enough to finish it off because of the MP40s? Yes, but the riflemen are still on free sides of this machine gun, so yeah, the WC-51 did die, but it kind of accomplished its purpose and gave the right side to the Americans. Brutal first engagement coming in, and yeah, well, that was pretty crazy. Hey Grey Knight, hey Mobo. Yeah, you lost it from the MP40, man. That was, see, that WC-51 probably should have been a little bit more careful with how the second machine gun was setting up, but it still, again, did its job. So it cannot be really said that it failed, really, because as long as the Americans can capture and hold the right side of the map, then that WC-51 accomplished what it set out to do. In the meantime, the left-hand side is not going quite as well for the Americans, as they are being sort of slowly but surely pushed back. Because of the machine guns and because of the grenadiers, one of the squads goes down. It's the rear echelon troops. It seems like we have Umi that is just taking over the left-hand side of the map. He decided to play his MG in this house, which is a very interesting move because there's just a lot of line of sight blocking from those trees. So yeah, perhaps not the best. Machine guns coming in and setting up, but getting, you know, pretty much wiped out by the riflemen. One of them is actually wiped out, and MG is stolen. Pretty good. It seems like Cheese is really dropping the ball. His Flamer engineer is trying to get some good damage on the building and the rifleman inside, but it's not enough. And we have a mortar coming in from Tuga Elite. Circus Mondeo is, well, he's got his stolen MG now, but he hasn't really committed to much yet. What is he going for? Lieutenant. Okay, so might be going for an AA half-track or something. Which would be, I think, quite an interesting choice, considering that he did go with the mechanized. So he does have mortar half-tracks and the assault engineer half-tracks, so who knows. If he really is going for like light vehicles out of Lieutenant, then he's not going to really use these as much. And if he's going for machine guns out of Lieutenant, then that's weird because he just stole an MG42, so perhaps he didn't need it quite as much. But we'll see how that works out. Rifle grenade pushes back this rifleman squad, and yeah, they survive. They survive, but right side is being fortified. So yes, despite the left-hand side being taken over by the Germans, the right side seems pretty firmly in Allied domination, and we have the lieutenant coming in for the center, can probably cap the mid. Rifleman squad really needs to run away, or otherwise it's going to die. Yes, it's going to die. And the Grenadiers pick up their first kill of the game, really, on the Americans. Well, except that rear echelon troop, but it's only a rear echelon troop. We have that Tugalit is using his mortar from near the base to shell this building, which means that the machine gun over here has to go back, replenish, and probably cannot stay in the same spot anymore. Rear echelon troops trying to slow down the German advance on the right side, but it's not really going to work out as the Flammenwerfers push them out of this building. We also have an A half-track coming in for Sakis, and that's an okay choice considering that his opponent right now doesn't really have any AT, but we'll see if he can get out any. I mean, we have that Umi is tier 2, and we have the other guy at tier 2 as well, Cheese. Flame half-track coming for him. Of course, the Flak half-track for the Americans is going to definitely counter the Flame half-track for the Nazis, so that would be quite good for the Americans. Nice cutoff move from the lieutenant, but obviously coming in for the cutoff on crossing in the woods is always pretty scary because of the negative cover. So the lieutenant's kind of lucky, didn't really suffer either big casualties or a wipe, but still needs to be careful. In the meantime, it seems like these riflemen are moving in. But yeah, we've got Payos also coming in and doing their job. Flames. Run away. Okay. So obviously the flamethrower half-track has revealed itself, but here comes the flak, the counter. And I think that this flame is dead, because there's really nothing that can support it. Here comes the MG42, but it doesn't even have Vet 1, so it can't really... And even if it did have Vet 1, it wouldn't really be enough, because it really needs a snare to save this, but it was not enough. And, oh, very, very aggressive play from the A half-track. It's Panzerfausted. The MG42 is still not Vet 1, so it means that the half-track is going to survive and, come back and repair. Another half-track on the left side for Umi. It's now upgrading, and it is going to roast this Rifleman squad. Poor, poor Rifleman squad. This gets absolutely, cooked alive by the flame projectors. Luckily for it, it manages to survive. Okay, Tugalit goes for the Heavy Cavalry Company, which means Pershing in the far future. But in the now, we have Rangers out of him. What is he going for? He's going for a Lieutenant. So he hadn't gone for the Lieutenant yet. Interesting. Mondeo still hasn't gotten anything out. I do like his play in that he's being quite aggressive on the right side. He's putting up pressure, and he's not allowing these Germans a time to sort of rest and refit, which is what you need to do. Oh, flame half-track. Okay, never mind.
We're losing a capture point. Go ahead. Orders incoming. They're trying to outflank us.
Yeah, okay, so the Germans are coming back slightly on the right side, but again, as I was saying, what I liked about Sakis Mondeo's play is that he was very aggressive and put up a lot of pressure on the right side, which meant that the Americans had a little bit more of a free time on the left, and now they're retaking the left, which is of course quite good. And here comes the Rangers. So Rangers obviously quite strong. We have a raid tactic being used. That means that the A half-track can cap the fuel point. Grenadiers having to run away. I'm not sure exactly. Well, that's pretty okay. Is that going to be a wipe? That's... No, okay. That could have been pretty bad, because that's a Vet 2 Grenadier squad.
Get ready. Warning order.
And it seems like... What? Huh? Can you explain this to me? What the fuck? But why? Like, yeah, sure, you were a little bit behind, but it's bloody crossing in the woods, and you're the Germans. Just turtle up on one flank. Like, these 2 Germans should have probably just turtled up on one flank, and they would have had a chance, at least. Instead, they surrender? I don't know. He could have just rebuilt the MG, though. Me no understando. Me really no understando. What the fuck was that?